Welcome back to another awesome episode of The Careful Boys, where we're extremely careful here.
Careful boys.
And we got Kunal Dudheker in the seat over here.
Kunal! Hey, I heard your nickname was Crypto Kunal.
Oh. Who told you that?
I just made that up, bro.
He just made up a fact.
Because I know you have crypto.
But we were talking about crypto just before this because, you know, it's an exciting time for some people in the crypto scene. Steve, why don't you let us know what's going on?
Well, it's just one of those things where, you know, you've been right about something. It's been pretty awesome.
Pretty right.
And you know, a lot of people
to
thought,
a T though.
a lot of people thought that maybe you weren't as good at something as maybe you were, and then you know now the proof's in the pudding, dude. Like fuck, tons of people made fuck tons of money. I think I made. I mean, dude, I can't even count the amount of millionaires I made on two hands. I'm not kidding. So that's kind of wild to be in this, to be sitting here right now.
Hello? Oh, it's con artist Steve talking. Wait, what did you do? Damn, you made too many people money? Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much.
It's great. Look, it's one of those things where it's awesome because I really believed in this project specifically for a long time. Like this whole basically almost a year now, just about. It's been over a year since today anyway. But I got it.
You wearing the hat?
I'm wearing the hat.
Oh,
I've been wearing this hat since like
Forever. That, like slight turn on it too. It's like the swag turn. Yeah.
like February of last year. I got this hat.
Swaggy
and,
The tag still.
you know, I haven't washed it since, so don't even worry about it.
You could tell.
It's crazy.
But the point is that like, you know, when you find something, you know, in crypto especially, you're looking for edges in the market. It's something that people don't see yet, right? So Terra Luna, this whole time that we've been talking about Luna, and you guys all know we've been talking about Luna like for a long time. It's had a key edge in the market. One's called Anchor Protocol, where you can take your money right now. So you have like a savings account, right? And you're losing 7.5% right now to inflation. Well, guess what? With Terra Luna, you're getting 19.3%.
So you're beating inflation.
Damn right. And so banking
On the interest.
Banking doesn't offer that. Banking hates you.
Just for having your money sitting there.
They do?
They're colluding together to make sure that when you put your money into your account, it's immediately gone. They use your money to make 10% a year, and they don't give you any of it. So because they fucking hate you.
Hold on, these guys sound white.
These guys sound white.
If only they had the same kind of white principles that mine.
Exploration.
Thank you. Yeah, what was it? Matt Damon says it's like fortune favors the bold. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, for the crypto.com.
That's what pisses me off about crypto right now is like everyone's saying like, hey, you know what crypto is? You go up to Vegas.
I like this guy.
You go to the roulette table. You put down your fucking money. We'll see what happens. You know, at least you didn't do what my dad did. He worked at a gas station his whole life till he died. And it's like, dude, that's not what's going on.
I'm betting here.
I'm betting
Hey, I bet here. If you don't know what DeFi is, if you don't know what decentralized finance is, you're missing out on what people are getting right now, like APRs, APYs, like the amount of yield that they can get for their money is no longer involved with their bank account. So your financial system is being replicated right now on the blockchain. You maybe don't know that yet, but that's what's going on. That's why it's exciting still. And all these new protocols that are being invented, like Anchor Protocol, is super beneficial to a lot of people who are just chilling at home right now going, what can I do to have my money make me more money, right? Yeah. And you might say, Steve, that's fucked up. Crypto's volatile, all this shit. Well, no. Anchor Protocol is like, you take your money into a stablecoin called UST. It's the fastest growing stablecoin in all of crypto. Look it up. Oh, by the way, we were talking about the whole fucking time too in my crypto corner, so that's all. It just feels so good. It just feels so good.
Okay, look. I love the passion and the energy coming from Steve. I want to throw out a little bit of back context for our fans. No bullshit, like, the reason why we're even talking about this right now is because just before the cameras turned on, Steve and Joe and everybody here was talking about like, yo, we gotta like show this thing because we really want to make sure that people, especially our fans, are still in tune with the things that we strongly believe in so that they can benefit their own lives. This is fully financial advice. You could totally sue.
No, this is not financial advice.
My bad. Not financial. I said the wrong line. My bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, not financial advice.
For legal purposes, we can never give financial advice ever on this channel.
But I will say, crypto is a very, very relevant topic, again, especially during the Russia-Ukraine conflict, right? Because like there's a lot of, I think a lot of you guys would agree, a lot of weird misinformation going on out there about like, you know, Russia using crypto to evade sanctions and like all this weird shit. And it randomly is throwing buzz into the space, but it's also pumping the space.
Well, yeah, because Ukraine is also using crypto as a way to get donations. I think right now they got over like 17 million.
Over 20 million or something.
20 million? Okay. But that's going fast. And they had a Ether wallet. They had a Bitcoin wallet. I think they had one more.
A USDT, I think.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
Well, they should have a UST wallet.
Yeah, right.
They should.
But
Then they could put it on Anchor for 19.3%, but that's fine.
19.57.
But I think that's the beauty of decentralizing the finance is you no longer have a government or entity or small group of people who can control the money supply. So like, yes, it can be used by maybe tyrannical governments, but it can also be used by people who don't have access because their banks aren't open and they need the help. And
people talking about Russia is using crypto to pay for the war. Dude, you have to amass a certain war chest to pay for a war. They're using oil money. The whole reason why they can pay for this war is because the price of oil is a goddamn shit show.
And guess what? We're still buying their oil.
We have to because we cut domestic supplies.
Most of the world, right? Yeah,
Damn
most of
right.
the world.
Germany's doing the same.
Germany's main gas supply is Russia, and even though they're a member of the UN and NATO, Europe is dependent on Russian oil.
So guess who's helping pay for the war? Europe buying Russian oil. That's the whole fucking game. So that's what drives me nuts about all this stuff too, is people just look at the interim. So like, oh, they just froze all these Russian accounts. Now Russia's maybe going into crypto. Cool. They still can't pay for shit with it that way. Yeah. You're talking about what? You do a tornado cash like exit, which is like
and if they're using crypto, they're literally putting it on a public ledger.
Exactly. You can track everything.
Like, why would you do that if you're trying to fund the war?
And that whole bullshit about like, oh, it's only being used by drug dealers and whatever, that's old. Like, they're not.
Yeah, that's Silk Road era.
Yeah, who says that anymore?
They're not saying that shit anymore.
It's not like they go into drug dens and they find Ledger Nano S's, bro. They find fucking wads of cash.
You won't be finding my shib in
Ledger
there.
Nano S is a cold wallet where you store your crypto just in case you don't know.
Thank you.
Tight.
But aside from all the like political and, you know,
You can also find that on Amazon. So
You can buy ledgers on Amazon now?
yeah, I bought. That's where I got mine.
Amazon is an e-commerce.
I wouldn't. just so you know, if you do that, make sure the box is not tampered with, and make sure that you factory reset the device before you use it, because there's a huge scam on Amazon where people are taking your ledger and they'll actually set it up, and then they'll give you this populated seed address, and like, hey, this is your seed address, you're all good, and then you onboard money into that ledger, and then it's gone.
And then so long, Shiba Inu.
Has nothing to do with
Anderson Steel.
It has nothing to do with the firmware or anything like that going on with Ledger. It has everything to do with it was tampered with before you got it. That's
you know why I think crypto gets a bad rep though? I mean, stocks gets a bad rep. There's people today that still feel like stocks are a bunch of scams.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
Okay.
so I know, right? It's a fucking hundreds of years old or whatever. But like, so when you look at crypto, anything that is like currently growing, currently kind of beta stage, currently like booming, right? There's a lot of testing going on, but also it attracts a lot. Anything that attracts a lot of money also attracts a lot of con artists that want fast money, because there's just a lot of greed going on in it, right? Same thing happened during the dot-com bubble. Same thing happens to every kind of bubble. So like, the thing is, when people just make this blanket statement and go, crypto is a scam, like, you're really selling yourself short.
You're just writing off an entire industry that you don't know anything about because you're afraid of it because you heard some story that one person has, like it, or even a couple people have, right? But I've never been. I mean, I'm not inviting anybody to fuck with me, but look, I've been very careful with the way that with the way that I do crypto transactions, because I'm aware of how the scams can work and how you can get like exploited. So
I got scammed.
you did? What happened?
Met a girl on WhatsApp?
Yeah. Damn.
Oh shit, dude.
She said, "Hey, wrong number."
5 STD. No, when I first got into like DeFi stuff, it was a new crypto that was like being offered or whatever, but then it was a fake what's it called?
URL.
Wallet?
fake on Uniswap, like a fake coin. Or it was
But it was on
degenerated.
Dex Tools. It was on Dex Tools,
Okay.
right? And Dex Tools is like kind of sketchy sometimes because people can kind of upload any.
So is Uniswap, yeah. It's the same shit.
Yeah. And
DEX
so-
stands for Decentralized Exchange.
And so it was just the wrong one. It was a fake one. And so all these people put money into it right away, and it immediately after a couple hours, it just was locked. And so all of our money, me and Alvaro did this. We woke up like early too. It was like 6 a.m. We're like, oh, it's gonna be public at 6 a.m. And we woke up early and we're like, got in. And it was the wrong one. And so our money is just lost. No. But it's like, but then that's just gonna be a tax write-off. So whatever,
Oh wow, you can write scams off as a tax write-off.
Oh, that's cool.
A loss is a loss, dude.
Well, it's called tax loss harvesting. I mean, you can you can write down a lot of the things that you sold at a loss potentially, and then you lock it in. You can report it to the IRS.
And again, I think that just for the sake of everybody who's watching, I think this is a really, really important conversation to have during this time, because we've just seen a lot of updates. I know we've been like shilling things like Luna and crypto and stuff like that over a year now. You know what I'm saying? Steve's been doing a great job, just like even educating people like myself, getting into the space. And there's been amazing gains. I'm not gonna lie, shit's been pretty sick.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, we happen to be living in a very turbulent time frame when we're looking at things that he's been bringing up, like Canada, right? Like things like GoFundMe, where you're looking at assets being categorized as terrorism, very Patriot Act like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Under the guise of terrorism, some central authority or dictator type of authority can choose to just freeze money. Like the idea that
Today's video is brought to you by Upstart. Woohoo! If you got multiple credit card balances each month and are getting by just by paying the minimums, barely making a dent into your credit card debt, it could be pretty dang discouraging.
Upstart can help you pay off your existing debt so you can feel like you're finally getting ahead.
Whether you're paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment.
Upstart knows that you're more than just your credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit.
Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan.
With a 5-minute rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans from $1,000 all the way up to $50,000. Wow. And receive your funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan.
Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/offtherecord.
That's upstart.com/offtherecord. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know we sent you.
Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application.
Go to upstart.com/offtherecord.
To me, it's like regardless of how you feel about politics, right? I feel that in a modern Western nation, right, we're taught these like independent freedoms and rights and of private ownership and whatever, right? And so imagine if the truckers, if they did what they did to the truckers, to the BLM movement, would they be treated the same way from the public? Like the truckers got their accounts seized, they found out who individually was protesting, and then they were like basically going into their private banking, all this stuff. They seized their GoFundMe account. Didn't disperse it to the activists and whatever. I'm like, what if that happened to the BLM movement? There's a double standard here going. I don't know, and I think politically
we'll find out, because you're right, but there's also another thing going on too, where when BLM was going on big time, like that was during the crypto bear market, a lot of faith was out of the crypto market, unfortunately. That was when you're supposed to be buying the most, in my opinion. But now that we're here, we'll see how it goes like going forward.
What if another BLM movement pops up and then there's GoFundMe or whatever, and what if the sitting president at the time goes, nope, I'm gonna block that?
Right. We'll see how it goes.
That might happen. Yeah, I don't know, but it's just, to me, I just don't like it how there's a double standard in the government where they're like, oh yeah, you guys are terrorists now, so let me just freeze your accounts. But they're citizens, they're not terrorists.
And by the way, how much worse could it get for USD right now? Okay, you're talking about, you could, hey, at any time, you want to hold USD, that's awesome. But guess what? We might be able to freeze your account at any time. Just so you know, even if you're international, we could freeze your account. So that's what, and then you might come at me with like, hey, MetaMask just froze some accounts today. But actually what happened was, it was the endpoint is where they were able to freeze. MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet where you can, and it actually transacts with a bunch of stuff like Cosmos and a bunch of different blockchains. But the idea is that like, you have like a little hot wallet, right? And you can use it to transact on whatever blockchain you choose to use, like BNB or any of that stuff. But the endpoint, when it's time to cash out, the endpoint is what froze certain people from being able to cash out
Like
today.
going into a bank account?
Exactly. So it wasn't necessarily MetaMask doing that. It was the endpoint application that they use that froze it. And so that's a different conversation. But crypto is not supposed to behave like that. You're supposed to be able to have your crypto stored on the blockchain. That means not using a centralized exchange, not using a Coinbase, not using a Gemini, any of that stuff. You're supposed to put this stuff like maybe on a ledger or on a, any of those devices. There's a couple of devices, right, that are out there. But you can store it on the blockchain yourself, and therefore you control it, because if it's not in your wallet with your keys, you don't truly control your crypto. And so that's the fear that people have.
Yeah, and I want to bring back to light something that you had just brought up, the idea of like, especially with US dollars, banks and stuff like that, like we're living in a time frame where the idea that a governing authority can freeze your money and make it so you don't have access to it, like that's already a very like crazy
That's
concept.
crazy, because we're not fucking like criminal drug dealers.
Exactly, but then
But you're guilty till proven innocent now.
There's like a more macro thing that like, especially for like what gives me a foundation of I guess projective belief and understanding. It comes down to like everything around. It's not just crypto, right? It's like we're living in a time where like somebody can freeze your assets. We're also living in a post generation where it's like after things like 9/11 and the Patriot Act, it's like under the guise of terrorism, like our privacies are stripped, and like our constitutional amendments have already been like kind of in some subjective way.
Hey, and the things that we're okay with are different.
Totally.
Hey, if you want to take a terrorist to Gitmo, go for it. I don't care if they have constitutional rights. It's all bullshit.
Then you add that to like even like imagine if everybody is driving like electronic over Wi-Fi cars in the future, and then the government has the ability to like stop your car. Like that
Just on
kind
suspicion.
of totalitarian control is something that it's going in that direction. If people don't, in essence, wake up and realize that like that's kind of like
No, it's a chipping away thing, right? So like when I remember when the whole mask and the mandates and things came out, anyone who spoke out against it, they're just like, well, that's a slippery slope. Like it's not totalitarianism. But I'm like, no, it's like it's basically moving inch by inch, and before you know it, oh, where did your rights go? And it's because if you don't, this is the whole democratic process, is we have to question constantly establishment, and we have to have a conversation. We have to pressure our representatives to represent us, not corporations, not to have a, little old boys club.
But good luck, we can't afford that.
Right, because they only work for what? Big money, special interest groups. But then the thing is like, we're getting pushback from other citizens when everyone is trying to have a conversation to get accountability from our leaders.
You fight each other, not your leaders.
Right, and then but people are like, well, you should shut the fuck up and just obey because you're causing a ruckus. And I'm like, but this is the process that we're supposed to be doing out here. Like, this is what we're taught. We're supposed to debate. We're supposed to talk this out, see what people want. We're supposed to vote it out, not just shut down somebody because it's like, I don't agree with you. And I don't know how it got here. It blows my mind. But then also, I think when it comes to the concept of DeFi money, it's like the same concept. It's like, we need something away from the reaches of control. Governments, in my opinion, shouldn't control money, because it's something that is yours, and if you believe in private ownership, it's something that you should be able to freely trade with another individual. But that's just my take on it. And if people want to argue that, I'm like, okay, let's go at it. Instead of just saying, shut the fuck up, Like, I think that's the biggest disservice that's happening right now in our like modern time, is just so many people just want to tell others just shut up about this and just follow.
Look, when Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence can fist bump on the Senate floor, but you can't fist bump with your neighbor because they don't want to even have a conversation with you, that's the joke. Is that they're playing everybody into a frenzy, making sure that we don't talk to each other ever, but then the leadership gets to go hang out, have cocktail parties, and nobody gives a fuck.
Which I think, just to kind of tie it all together, is an important element to why we're even having this conversation of decentralized versus centralized. I think that's a huge thing that so many of like the normies and stuff, they don't actually fully understand. But that's the theme. That's the theme of everything that's going on. That's kind
decentralized finance.
Yeah, the underwritten element of every problem that's happening that's involved with that space, which is also why we go back to things like Terra Luna, because it's such a successful and important decentralized entity.
We're about to take Ripple, by the way. We're about to take Ripple down right now. We passed Cardano. Cardano's a piece of shit anyway. I've been talking about Cardano being a piece of shit forever. We're about to pass Ripple. Fucking unbelievable. What a
Like,
ride.
when it comes to crypto, I think there's so many, I guess, ways to look at it, right? Like we're really focusing on our belief of this new form of the concept of money and decentralizing financing, and like our belief of the future of how this is going to be utilized within the community. Now there's that, I guess philosophy behind it, that the maybe even moral aspect of it. But then there's also the investment benefits of it, because fiat, which is US dollars, government money, all this stuff, right? The way that it's structured is it's kind of devalued over time, because when you have a central bank that prints money, it devalues your money. And this is why you hear from old folks, oh, back in my day, I used to be able to get a cup of coffee for 10 cents, right? Inflation, because they keep printing money. And that's what took down the Roman Empire. A lot of big governments, they keep overspending and they keep overprinting. And
because they're overconfident. It's because they're overconfident.
Overconfident. They think their empire's too big to fail. But do you want these guys to be in charge of your future, and you're going to be working hard, you're going to be saving up money, you're going to be putting this into, your safe investments and whatever. But over time, you're going to lose the value of all the years and hours you worked for, because these, idiots fucked it for you. And so for me, I'm like, I don't want them to have that power. I rather put it in something else where I control it, or the community controls it, and the value stays very strong for that reason. And so when you pick a good coin that you see the great fundamentals behind, it takes a little bit of time to study this and all that stuff. But when you choose a good one, what ends up happening is it skyrockets in price, because people are what's called, like, they're hedging their money, saying that if I believe, again, this is gonna go down in value because they're overprinting this, then I need to put it in something that's gonna go up in value, so I'm not losing my money. And that's why people invest in real estate. That's why some people believe in buying gold. That's why some people are like getting things that are called assets or things of value. And crypto is now one of them, because it's holding the value because the US dollar is going down from all the printing that they do.
And listen, people might say like, "Hey, thanks, Steve, all this stuff. It's very it's all very nice. I'd love to hear it." But the point that I'm trying to make is that you should arm yourself with the knowledge that when you go home, like you go to Thanksgiving, you go to Christmas, you go at a birthday party, wherever you're at with a bunch of people who don't know about this stuff, and they're telling you how stupid you are because you bought it. You can arm yourself knowing enough about this stuff to say, nah, that's not why. No, that's not what's going on. You don't understand what I'm doing, actually. You think you do. You think you're an expert at this stuff, but you don't know what's going on with this stuff. And because you can defend it is why you are in the winning circle right now. That's why you won and they lost. That's why you won and most people who were buying fucking Ripple or Cardano or any of this stuff, and it's all fine, but the token supplies are goddamn nuts, bro. We're like, fuck, it's just,
but it's complicated, man. They don't know what market cap is.
I know, but what edge could they have? But no, dude, knowing that like since last year, we're talking about things like Anchor Protocol. Bro, you were up with me at 3 a.m. We're getting Anchor Protocol, like the fucking initial coin offering for that came right to our wallets, and that same night, that thing went down like 60%, I think, right? But if you look at what it was that we were trying to do, right, which was the plan, we're like, hey, okay, we're gonna try to go in here. It's going for like 5 cents each at launch. If we can just get in there before it rides up, maybe we can get like a little 10x out of it. We can fucking instant sell, and like we're just in line. I think you got kind of wrecked on that one a little bit. I think. Well, mostly moving money around. But that happens in crypto, right? Yeah. So like just being transparent about the game, right?
But I paid for my lessons and I won big, baby.
But see, that's
right.
I think that's one of the biggest things that's deterring like mass adoption still right now, right?
Yes.
Because
yes.
A centralized exchange is it's fairly safe.
Yeah.
I mean, you can use Coinbase and be pretty chill. Like I bought some Bitcoin like 5 years ago and forgot about it, and last year I was like, oh shit, I got a lot of Bitcoin, a decent amount. Anyways, but like DeFi is still a much riskier investment. Mm-hmm. It's it's way riskier than putting your money in Chase Bank, because your money in Chase Bank is FDIC insured, and you're not getting any interest off of it. But if someone steals your debit card and charges $10,000 on your thing, they're gonna give your money back. You're gonna get it back.
Yeah.
From Chase.
That's true.
If you get scammed on DeFi, there's a million things.
It depends,
because
FDIC insurance just came to Anchor Protocol actually. So there's a bunch going on with this stuff that people aren't aware of.
But that's the utility that you're talking about, right?
Damn right.
Like, that's
Being an early adopter, right?
Yeah.
So like,
it's about being early.
if you're early, because eventually this stuff is gonna catch on. You got to pick the right. I guess it's like value investing, like what Warren Buffett said. Like, you try to pick out the great companies that are priced really low right now, and they're gonna get better. But that takes time and research and understanding. But all I'm saying is that, not financial advice, but Steve did say Terra Luna early on, because he did all that homework for you guys, and he made me some hefty cash, you know.
Hey, no, but seriously, congrats to you guys, because like it takes a lot to stay in the game. The game is not easy. The game is constant work, and yeah,
There's
I'm so
growing
proud of everybody.
pains.
Yeah, there is. No, there is.
when he would first start.
When we got in though, I told you, yo, this is at least a 5-year game for me.
Yeah.
So I've seen the swings. Dude, my swings are like from seeing it to close to 1 mil, dropping to 10 grand. And those numbers will make anybody off themselves. But for me, I was like, party on, dude. I got 3 more years to go to see the numbers go. And I'm sitting at 7 figs, baby.
Hey, good job, brother.
Oh yeah.
And I'm still homeless. So what's up?
And by the way, that was in 10 months, which is unbelievable.
But I guess you could still say the same about stock market, right? If you just started investing in the stock market and you don't know shit, you could probably lose a lot of money. You gotta. It's gonna take a long time to learn how to really play the game.
Yeah, but I always say, like, you gotta play big to win big. You know that you gotta
Or do what I did. I think I put like $18,000 in total, and I'm over 7 figs. So that's.
But that's from research. That's from research. That's from.
Just saying. I did it twice. Let's go.
Heat check, baby. Let's go.
Heat check.